Shout out StatGuy Greg.
The majesty.
Oh my goodness. It's professional wrestling.
1,000% confirmed. Not mage.
Stay mage and enjoy yourself.
It's Cheap Heat with Peter Rosenberg, featuring StatGuy Greg and Dip.
You bet your ace. That's exactly what it is. Well, usually it would be featuring StatGuy Greg and Dip, except today, StatGuy Greg is starting the day in court, I'm told. He's busy living up to the gimmick and being a lawyer. And Dipperstein has big travel plans for the weekend, although I'm told, I don't know if this is true, I'm told we have a special guest joining us on the phone line. Do we have our guest on the phone? Let's see. Maybe not yet. Okay. That's disappointing. Very disappointing. I'm told we may have a special guest on the phone line in moments, but we do have a lot to get to as we sit here a week out from Royal Rumble, a day removed from Saturday night's main event. Yeah, if you forgot, Saturday night's main event, Montreal, tomorrow. We have a SmackDown getting into that tonight. Then there'll be a big Raw on Monday in Toronto as we head into Rumble season over the next week. I cannot believe we're here already. Like, just objectively speaking, to stop right now and go, we are already in the Rumble, like in the thick of WrestleMania season's origin, that is the Rumble, is just crazy to me that we are here already. But this is the time we're in. We did a Patreon this week. If you happen to be a patron, make sure you check that out. If you're not, head over to patreon.com/cheapheatlive. We did an hour and had a lot of spirited discussions about many things. And now I'm told our special guest is on the phone line. Very excited. I cannot believe I pulled this off. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Cheap Heat podcast, it is Dipperstein. Hey, Dip.
Hey, how we doing today?
Wow. Can you believe I scored a guest like this?
It's big. Big for Hollywood, big for the wrestling community. Big.
Yeah.
Big, big, big.
Big for everyone. Now, Dip, you were off to Vegas?
I am.
I'm
off to Vegas.
Partaking in what?
I love all. My favorite thing are combat sports that have predetermined outcomes. But my second favorite thing are combat sports that do not have predetermined outcomes. And as a result, I'm going to Las Vegas for UFC.
Oh, UFC. I'm glad. Is this week the biggest card of all time?
It's the biggest card of all time. And we got our first Zuffa boxing card, which I'll be at as well, which I'm very excited about. I'm hoping to become one of the biggest Zuffa guys in the biz today.
So you are going to the first ever Zuffa boxing situation.
I'm going to be zoofing up a storm.
Zuffa Boxing 1, Walsh versus Ocampo. It is going down Friday night. That's tonight to you and me, Dip, unless you're listening to our replay, in which case it's last night or 2 nights ago. But yeah, Zuffa Boxing kicks off, and Calum Walsh, who's 15-0, is taking on Carlos Ocampo, who's 38-3, and it's at the Apex. So this is interesting.
I can't wait.
So it's only you're one of the only 1,000 of the 1,000 attendees going to the first ever Zuffa Boxing.
Yeah, I guess so.
And you know what I'm reading here? It's now been leaked that formerly of First Take fame, Molly Karam is going to be the host of the Zuffa Boxing. Do you know that?
I didn't. I didn't know that.
Here's who we have. Here's who we have. I have the whole broadcast team because I care about these things. Play-by-play is a guy you may be familiar with. His name is Joe Tessitore.
I never heard of him in my life. I'm kidding. I'm a gigantic fan in every way, shape, and form.
He will be sitting with Max Kellerman and Andre Ward. That is the broadcast team. Heidi Androl is the reporter. Molly Karam is the host. She'll have Antonio Tarver. My boy Mike Coppinger is there. Mark Kriegel is going to be there as an analyst and contributor as well. So, say hi to Joe Tess, who's going to be stuck with a different loudmouth New York Jew this week? Max Kellerman instead of me.
Yeah, I hope I see him. I hope I get to see him because I love him. I really do.
So we had a really spirited Patreon this week on a variety of fronts, Dip, and you and I were just sort of like trying to talk about what we thought was like the most interesting conversation. We learned a lot of things. Number one, SGG has no love at all for Matt Cardona. I don't know where. I did not expect the Matt Cardona slander from SGG, but you learn something new every week. We had a fun conversation there. One thing we did not get into a lot though, Dip, and that's been a big topic of conversation on Busted Open and on Not Sam Wrestling this week, so since I only have you for a limited time, is the stakes of this AJ Styles Gunther match. That AJ Styles is putting his career on the line at the Royal Rumble. Like, what are your teas, dude?
I love how, like, I heard, I don't know who was talking about it. I don't know if it was a caller from Busted Open earlier or whatever it was, but I hear a few people in the internet wrestling community talking about that it's going to end in a schmoz and AJ's going to end up winning. This match he's going to crush AJ Styles, okay, in my opinion.
Good night and good luck is what you're saying.
This could be the end of AJ Styles. Good night, good luck. This is it. This could be it.
No, that would be, I got to tell you, can you imagine if we went from John Cena retired, we got all the pomp and circumstance, and then afterwards, AJ just gets thrown into it also, and he's now finished back to back? Like, is that really going to be the end of AJ?
I smell it. Dipstradamus is predicting this a mile away. This will be AJ Styles' last match. That will be it for AJ Styles after he is defeated by Gunther. Good night, good luck. I'll see you.
Why do you feel so strongly about this?
Because I think they're going to continue on the train of Gunther is the guy that retires the legends, and I think that AJ Styles is the next legend to fall victim to Gunther. I don't agree with it. I don't know if I like it. That's the end of AJ? I haven't decided. I happen to be a big AJ Styles fan, so I don't know.
So you're telling me the end of AJ Styles is that he's essentially just a character. AJ Styles' retirement is that he is basically just a character in the Gunther story. He's the next notch on the belt of Gunther. That's all AJ Styles is? Can that be?
Yes.
No.
That is what it can be, and from my purview, a man who's been watching wrestling for 38 years. That is Dipstradamus sees the future, and the future is AJ Styles will be retiring at Saturday night's main event this Saturday in Canada.
877-344-4893. 877-344-4893. Now is your time to get in on the phone lines. Your thoughts on this specifically. I know everyone's had a lot of strong feelings. Of course, it won't be at Saturday night's main event. It'll be at the Royal Rumble, Dip. You're a week ahead of us.
Yeah, right.
But,
whatever, I misspoke. Yes.
Now, Saturday night's main event, Dip, though, since you mentioned it, because some people, it's crept up so quickly, we have 3 matches on the card officially. We have Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu in a match, a singles match, both guys trying to get a shot at Drew McIntyre's championship. You have Rio, as it's known, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, Dip's favorite tag team, versus the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, who I'm a huge fan of. And then you have Randy Orton versus Trick Williams versus Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn to determine the number 1 contender for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. So while Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu want to get back in the mix, those 4 will have a match to determine who will actually get a shot at Drew McIntyre at the Rumble. Now, Dip,
Wait.
one thing that another
I'm
topic
confused.
that was spirited.
I'm confused by this.
Which part?
I'm confused. So What, Drew.
Don't hurt yourself.
No, I'm just a little confused. There's so many things going on at once. There's so many big cards and big events happening all at once that it's sort of hard. I'm finding it hard to keep track of who's going up for what title and when and how many the tournaments. It's like I'm finding it and starting to get confusing. I gotta be honest.
I totally the title
match,
thing. Go ahead.
The Jacob Fatu Cody Rhodes match is not to determine the number one contender, is it?
No. Well, that's the thing. No, not really. I didn't say that. I said they're both trying to get back in line to win the championship. It is not officially that. You know what I'm saying? It's just the two of them having a match because the undisputed.
That's going to be a schmazol. That's going to end in schmazol central, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to picture either of the. Cody's not losing again. That's not happening. Right? And it would be
if he
weird.
Does, it's a good story. If he loses again and is like, what's going on with Cody Rhodes? Listen, I would like to see this be the Cody Rhodes loses clean to Jacob Fatu. And that loss is it skyrockets Jacob Fatu into the title picture. But it does two things. That and also makes Cody Rhodes question himself. Who am I? What's going on? Why am I losing? And it's the start of his heel turn leading up to WrestleMania. That is what I would like to see.
You know what? It's something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's something. It's starting to build.
No better time than now.
It's starting to build something, and think about how big it would be, how impactful a win it would be for Jacob Fatu to beat Cody Rhodes clean.
That is what I would like to see happen.
So
and by the way, sorry, go ahead, you go.
So to your point, though, that is not officially a number one contenders match because we have Randy, Trick, Priest, and Sammy all battling to see who will get a shot at Drew. Now, who do you think wins that match? Randy,
I'd like
Trick,
it to be Sami Zayn.
and then Sami Zayn. Are we going to the idea that we talked about last week that Sami Zayn actually wins the title at the Royal Rumble and Drew McIntyre has the title for like 3 weeks? So it's that Sammy gets the match, the crowd goes crazy, Sammy gets the match, he fights his ass off, and he loses at the Royal Rumble, is what you're saying.
I'd like to see Sami Zayn win, but I think it'll be Randy. That's what I see happening.
I don't think so. I don't see Randy winning this match because I don't see Randy and Drew just being a thing that happens quickly at the Royal Rumble a week later. I don't know. I don't know if I see that. I don't think now is the time for Randy and Drew.
I see it.
Yeah, because you see everything, Dip, except you generally get everything wrong. And you're going to get this wrong too. Sammy, you need a big spot for Sami Zayn. He's incredibly popular in Saudi Arabia, right? Why not? If you're not going to have Sammy win the Rumble, which is a long shot, why not have him have this title match at the Rumble where the whole crowd is behind him? And if he loses, it's just awesome heat for Drew McIntyre. And
I would love that to happen. That would be great.
That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. How much do you want to bet right now, Randy Orton? How much do you want to bet Randy Orton does not win this Fatal 4-Way?
I will bet you $50.
Let's make this more manageable. Let's the next time you come to town, a bagel, a scooped out bagel, jalapeno cream cheese, lox and tomato, lightly toasted egg bagel. That is what I want, if I'm correct.
What do I get? If you get your scallion cream cheese slathered all over a bagel, what do I get?
Not scallion. I said jalapeno cream cheese.
Jalapeno, I meant, not scallion. Jalapeno.
I like scallion.
You're such a cream cheese guy. I can't keep track of all your cream cheese.
I love cream cheese. I'm a man who loves cream cheese. I love scallion. I love light scallion. Kelly Murphy suggests that the winner get omakase, and we get to run the whole omakase. How about a meal at the Jumping Bomb Angels restaurant?
That's it. That's what we're doing. We're going to go eat at the Jumping Bomb Angels restaurant, but they have to be there. I'm not going to this restaurant without them there. I need to see the Jumping Bomb Angels. I need to eat a piece of seared salmon belly with the Jumping Bomb Angels. That's what I need.
A moment in time. That would be truly wonderful. Are you coming to town in a few weeks for our mutual friend's birthday?
I am seriously considering that, yes.
She told me that she's considering applying the pressure.
No need to pressure. I owe it to her, and I believe I will be there. I have not seen her in a while, and I would like to see her.
For the record, I want everyone to know, this is not only is it a good friend of Dip's, but a very important client. And should she actually, even, I would say, if she were to heartily snap her fingers and say, I will see you at my birthday, I think you're going. What are your teas?
Probably.
Yeah. A hard snap, if she's like, Dipperstein, I think the flight's booked. I think you're going.
I'm thinking hard snap gets it done.
I think hard snap's all it needs. I'm DJing a set at this birthday party.
She asked me my opinion. I said, I'm sure he would like to do it. She says, maybe it's Juanito, maybe it's Rosenberg. I said, we love Juanito, but it's got to be Rosenberg. Not to make work for my other clients, but it's got to be.
Free work.
It's
free work at the birthday party nonetheless, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, I told her to call Juanito also. I said, I'm not going to do the whole night, but I will totally come do a thing. Now, this is troubling. I just received a text message from StatGuy Greg.
Yeah.
StatGuy Greg has just texted, and I do not like what I've read on said text message.
Oh, boy.
I do not think I'm seeing StatGuy Greg today. StatGuy Greg has weighed in. He writes, Hour 2 is looking unlikely too. Judge has us waiting while he interviews the kids. Oh, my God. He's in the middle of a serious case. What are we going to do, Kelly? I'm now being completely left by both of my co-hosts. The physically vacationing is choosing today to be physically working, and the one who physically is always working is today physically vacationing.
Let's get a guest. Let's go to the nation. We have options. You're Peter Rosenberg. You know a lot of people.
That's a great point. Who do I want to call? Who am I going to? Who
should
I get?
He's Peter Rosenberg. You know that, right, Kelly?
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed. So much I was watching 30 for 30 last night. One of my favorite ones. Completely forgot you were featured. I was like, holy shit, it's Peter.
Yeah, it's a tough look for me. That era.
Let me tell you something. I'm driving to the airport right now. There's ads for this guy, Richard Porgol, who is an accident lawyer, and the guy looks exactly like Peter Rosenberg. It's insane.
Really?
What's going on. It's crazy. I'm going to say another thing. I am now a drive to the airport and park guy if it's a 2-day trip. I drive, I park, because I'm done taking these fakakta shuttles to where the Ubers and Lyfts are, and I'm only taking black cars now, because I've earned it, because I've worked my whole life to be able to do black cars only, And now the black cars are $200 to get to my house.
Yeah, because the way
It's
they've
crazy.
done it at LAX and JFK, essentially, if you want to call an Uber, they will only let you get it at the terminal if you get a black car. So now, as a result, the black cars are even more expensive. So, it's absolutely absurd. So you might as well, to your point then, if you're going to have to take the fakakta shuttle, at least after you take the fakakta shuttle, you get off and get in your own car and drive home.
100%. It's the same money. It's less money to drive. So now I'm driving.
What are they charging you? What are they charging you to park at LAX?
$60 a day.
Oh, God, that's still a lot. Is that for short term or long term? That's short term.
Yeah.
Short term. Well, I wonder how much they charge for long term.
I may spring for valet today.
Wow, look at you. You know what? God bless. 877-344-4893. I am officially co-hostless today. Dipperstein is off to Las Vegas. He's going to be zoofing and UFCing up a storm. And SGG has decided today is the Friday where he wants to be in court working. So you guys are going to co-host with me, and we'll get started today. My first co-host today will be Nathan in Arkansas. Big Nate, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, it's chilling out in Greenbrier, Arkansas. I don't know if you've ever been there today, but it's a beautiful day.
Wow. God, are you guys going to get caught up in any of this winter nonsense?
Yes. I'm actually working on the road in Greenbrier, Conway area, which is north of Little Rock. Little Rock's where I'm from. But we're looking at getting ice this weekend and possibly snow on Monday. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Watch out, buddy. All right, be safe. All right, what do you got for us today?
So I wanted to just talk about AJ, but then also you started talking about Sammy, and I had something interesting about a comment I left on his X, on Sami Zayn's X on January the 4th that got deleted that I can't find for anything. But with AJ, I really think Gunther has to beat Cena and AJ together. And the reason why is because in 25 years of professional wrestling, since 2001, two guys carried the business. John Cena, AJ. 2016, AJ came into WWE, broke the forbidden door. But AJ was the only person last year on the retirement tour that got that special introduction from John Cena. Nobody else could say that they carried wrestling, through the time that we had. And, Gunther, it's not just a legend thing, but with retiring Cena and AJ, at Royal Rumble, 10 years after the fact that he debuted in WWE.
Yeah.
It's like an end to an era, 25 years. And so, but can I also add a little bit to Sammy real quickly and just get your thoughts on it?
Sure, go ahead.
I think Sammy's going to win the Royal Rumble. Orton's going to win the Fatal 4-Way tomorrow. And I think Sammy and Punk is going to be one of the matches at WrestleMania, and Sammy's going to beat Punk.
Well, listen, thank you for the call, buddy, and good luck with the snow there in Georgia, Nathan. I said the same thing the other day, that I don't think it's going to happen. But, Dip, we did talk last Friday about the possibility of a Sammy Rumble win, which would be pretty cool. Now, maybe you'll be right. Randy gets the match against Drew McIntyre. Sammy wins the Rumble in Saudi, and then we get Sammy actually at WrestleMania. But are you a believer? I know that you did not believe. You immediately shot down, and it was on our social media, Cheap Heat Pod on Instagram. You shot down, Dip, the idea of Sammy and Drew having a title match at WrestleMania. Could you possibly see Sammy and Punk having a title match at WrestleMania?
I just don't know if any of these people are going to take any of the top slots at Mania. Do you see Drew I mean, in your heart of hearts, do you see Drew McIntyre headlining WrestleMania? Either night? In your heart of hearts. I'm looking not just at your heart, but at the heart of hearts. Do you see Drew McIntyre?
That's the ultimate heart. Let's be honest. That's the number one heart there is. It's the best heart there ever was and ever will be. Yeah. I suppose the reason it's hard to picture Drew, for example, with Sammy is because in that match, you're going to boxing today, as they would call it in boxing, Drew would be the A side of that match. I don't see Drew as the A side at WrestleMania yet. I hear you. Now,
there you go.
If Roman were to win the Rumble and call out Drew McIntyre, I guess I could see Roman and Drew being one night of WrestleMania. How about that?
Where does that leave Cody Rhodes? Where does Cody Rhodes go from here? How could Cody Rhodes not be in the main event at WrestleMania right now? Come on.
What if Cody Rhodes? Listen, I know Cody Rhodes is on Friday in theory, and Punk is on Monday, and we're still playing this Fakakta game. But I don't know. What if Roman ended up with Drew and Cody Rhodes ended up with CM Punk?
Good. I like it.
I don't see that.
I like
happening.
it. I just don't know. I don't see it either happening. But yeah, Cody Punk is an obvious thing they haven't done. I'm ready for that. Have they done it? No. Not
Cody
really.
and Punk.
Right?
Cody and Punk have kind of been kept away from each other in terms of like direct stuff. And like it is
because that's a money match. Big.
Now, the funny thing is though, man, is that when we get Cody and Punk, it's likely going to be, if you believe sort of any of the speculation and also you just read the tea leaves, it'll probably be heel Cody versus babyface Punk. I think there's only babyface Punk. I do not believe, which is so funny because I think Punk has such a heelish personality. But Dip, I think the only Punk left till he retires from WWE is babyface Punk. What are your thoughts?
I completely agree with you. And I think I see the big story going into WrestleMania, okay, is that Cody Rhodes is a heel. Cody Rhodes turns heel on the road to WrestleMania, and that is the big story of WrestleMania. That's what I would like to see happen. I don't care who he wrestles, but Cody as a heel is like the big year event. So,
well, wouldn't that be? That's interesting then, though, because people have speculated that it's Cody and Roman for a third time, and that would mean heel Cody versus babyface Roman.
Good. That makes it different. If it's tweener Cody versus Roman or baby versus baby Roman, it doesn't matter. Like I don't want to say it doesn't matter. It's a big match. Everyone likes to see that visual, but it's not. It's something we've seen before. I hate these big rematches. I don't like them.
No, I agree.
Another
thing we discussed on the Patreon, and if you're not a member, go listen. It was a hell of an episode. Was SGG made clear that he feels the only way we should ever see Cody and Roman again is if a title's on the line, because their rivalry is one that is so big it should always have like gigantic stakes attached to it, which I thought was interesting because I could argue the opposite. Both are so meaningful they don't need a title. Anytime they have a match, it's main event. Doesn't matter what's involved. But SGG saw it the opposite. Let's go to Rob in Iowa and see what he's talking about. What up, Rob? How you been, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I was calling about the AJ Gunther match you guys were talking about. I have no idea what they're going to do in that match, but the only thing I'm like 100% certain of is that AJ Styles will not be wrestling his last match at the Royal Rumble. I think I pitched to Sam the Rocky II idea yesterday, where basically Gunther has to drag him out of retirement because he didn't get him to tap out. You could do something like that. I don't know. I think they booked themselves into a corner, which is actually sometimes a good thing, because when it doesn't seem like there's any possible outcomes, then that actually makes it exciting to see what they can pull off. But I kind of agree with you, Pete. There's just no way that AJ Styles said 2026 is his last year in wrestling, and he meant January of 2026 was his last month.
That's exactly. You know what, Rob? I had that exact thought earlier. I went, wait a second. So this guy kept telling us, you know what? He made a whole announcement, said it to Michael Cole. Next year is my last year of wrestling, and by that I mean the first month of next year is my last. Come on, that would be so crazy. And now listen. I suppose there's a world, Rob, in which, sometimes WWE has a way of reminding you that they may have loved someone, but if they were really from somewhere else, they don't get the same love on the way out as the guys who are forever WWE. So, like, maybe as much as they love and respect AJ, maybe he does go out with a bit of a whimper, because the fact of the matter is, no matter how much of a legend he has become in WWE, if you're a true wrestling fan, you think of TNA first when you think of AJ Styles. You do.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of that was the other part, too, was that on Thursday, he clearly teased something with a match in TNA. And then on Monday, they're going to announce his retirement match. That doesn't seem to make sense either. I don't think he did that on TNA on his own, especially if he knew a retirement match was coming up. So that would be the other big tell, is that they've got something planned with TNA.
Yeah, so it really doesn't make sense in that regard. Rob, great call. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you always. 877-344-4893. I'm looking for co-hosts for the full 2 hours because I've been abandoned. SGG is out. Dipperstein, you have to go to the airport now and get on your flight.
Yep.
So
I'm going to sign off now, guys.
You're going to zoof it up a storm. We'll talk later, shall we? Listen to the show. Sign in on your phone. Listen on Sirius. All right, good. Thanks, Dip. All right, there he goes. That's Dipperson, everyone. 877-344-4893. Phone line still jammed, and we're going to talk to you guys throughout the show. AJ, Gunther, thoughts, who's winning the Royal Rumble, and anything else that comes to mind. You want to bring it to the show? Bring it. You know what? If you're lucky, maybe I'll bring in Miss Hatton, my wife. I'm sure she would love to weigh in. She did watch some Unreal this week, so she'll have a little bit to say about that. She can tell you how much she hates Gunther. Oh, the door just swung open. I thought my wife pulled a Joe Hendry. Say her name and she appears, but it was Bear pushing the door open, so she has not appeared quite yet. We'll get to some Unreal as well. Before I get back to the phone lines and talk to you, the people, Kelly, you live on Long Island?
Yes, sir.
And what are you hearing about the storm? What's the latest we're getting on the blizzocalypse of 2026?
I feel fairly confident now that we're going to get at least 6 to 8 because I've been seeing 8 to 10, 10 to 12. I've seen 14 to 18. So I would say at least 6 to 8, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was upwards of a foot, which sucks.
And that's what people seem to be saying.
Yeah. Seems to be the general consensus.
Where does Susumu live?
Yeah, Susumu, are you in Westchester?
Where are you?
I'm still am. I'm here.
And what are they saying about Westchester?
Similar? I'd say similar.
So you're saying you're expecting 6 to 8, 10, something like that?
Yeah, I'd say probably. I saw 4 to 8, but it could be higher.
Now here's the thing. I'm supposed to fly Monday evening to Toronto to get on the charter to go to Riyadh. I guess the thing that I'm questioning is, if for New York this turns out to just be a snowstorm, and real quick, do either of you know when they're saying the snow is actually going to be done? Like, when do they think this is going to be? All day Sunday?
All day Sunday and into very early Monday. I believe it's going to turn into like the wintry mix, and then by Monday morning it should be done.
Gone. So the question is, I guess, if it ends up being, let's call it 10 inches, like, are they clearing the airport and I'm able to fly out Monday evening? Snow generally gets cleared.
Right, but you would think everything Sunday is going to be a no-go, and then all of those flights are going to be pushed/rescheduled, which is the only reason I'm a little weary of, with all
Monday.
of those having to get pushed and rescheduled, if the Monday eveningers, like yourself, may run into a problem, which hopefully you don't.
End up getting screwed. How long is the drive here? Maybe I should hop in the car.
Is Canada getting weather? What's going on in Canada?
Well, I don't. Let me tell you what Canada's getting. And I think we have a call. We're going to talk to Bill in a second in Toronto. What Canada's getting is some of the most insane temperatures of all time. And it's something to think about because, of course, WWE is there all weekend. If you go look right now, I'm going to type in Montreal, where Saturday Night's Main Event is. And SmackDown's there too, I think, tonight, right? They're both in Montreal.
Yes.
Montreal is currently sunny, 13 degrees, feels like 6. Saturday, for Saturday Night's Main Event, the high is -3. The low is -12. So while the wintry mix is all like south through mid-Atlantic up to the northeast U.S., what Canada is getting is just insane weather. Now, it does say Sunday they're expecting snow in Montreal. I don't know if Toronto is getting any of it. Toronto, it says, no, it looks like some snow on Monday in Toronto. But I don't think any of them are getting a crazy amount of precipitation. It looks like maybe late Sunday night into Monday they get some. But the weather is just totally crazy. Like, we are living in so end of times for so many reasons. But the weather is, it's just madness. Let's go to Bill in Toronto. Bill, what's going on? Are you going to Raw on Monday?
No, I can't really go. Just family situations, I can't really go to stuff like that. I do see, though, for Sunday, they're saying here, trying to convert from metric, 25 centimeters on Sunday, which is about 8 inches. Maybe a little more.
Oh, really?
Yeah. With Montreal, it's only 5, which is like a couple. So I think the further
that is
south
interesting.
it is, the worse it is.
Dude,
Yeah.
It's a disaster. I'm starting to mentally prepare that I may have to find a different way to Riyadh. It may be too complicated on Monday. I guess we'll see. Because now if you're telling me it's going to snow in Toronto also, it's a mess. All right, what do you have, though, Bill? What's going on? Talk to us about the wrestling.
Okay. I'm going to channel my inner Pat Patterson here. I got a match idea, ties into Royal Rumble, to have Raw and SmackDown each have a men's and women's match, which is a triple threat elimination. Now, the winner of the first fall gets their number put into 21 to 30 range. The winner of the second fall, their number goes to 11-20, and the loser of that fall, their number gets stuck at 1 to 10. What do you think?
I don't mind it. I don't mind adding. I like the idea of some matches to add something to the number, the number pulling for the Rumble. Thank you for the call, Bill. I think that's sort of a fun idea. The idea that you get to have a match and a team can find out that they end up in a different place in the Rumble. It is crazy when you think about it, guys. Has anyone officially declared for the Rumble? Has anyone? We have official declarations. How many do we have, Kelly?
A handful of both. I've got it in your rundown.
You do?
See. I do,
oh my
yes,
God,
sir.
You're such a professional. It's all here.
You see in hour 2, men's entrance, women's entrance?
I do. Look at this. Okay, here we go. Men's entrance announced so far. Cody, Penta. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Jay did say it. He had the big moment where he declared it. Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio. So Cody, Penta, Jey Uso, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio. Gunther said he's going to be in the Rumble, but of course he's got a match against AJ Styles. But wait a second, what does that mean? Is Gunther going to do both? Huh. That would certainly be something. Wow, can you imagine, though, the heat? I will say, if Gunther were to beat AJ Styles, then win the Rumble, and then call out CM Punk or because he's not calling out Drew, and then he calls out CM Punk. I mean, I don't know, man. Like I go back and forth on Gunther. You know, sometimes I wonder whether like the ceiling is as high as it's been projected to be for him. But man, he really is hated. Now, women's entrance announced so far. Rio announced it, that they're both in. I remember that. Rhea and Io are in. Roxanne and Liv are in. Lyra Valkyria is in. Bayley's in. Nia Jax is in. Asuka is in. Raquel is in. I will say this. Kelly added a note that I think is really important, where you said you missed the element of surprise to the Rumble. Here's what's going to annoy me. We've made up, at this point, we only have 7 or 8 women and 4 or 5 men. So you're not going to do a whole lot of storytelling between now and the Rumble. So why not let it all be surprise? Like, if you're not going to do it weeks out where you can do something to build it, I like the idea of, we just can't be sure who's coming out. And, we have so much talent these days that you could question whether or not someone's actually going to go into the Rumble. So I don't understand, and I know, guys, if you listen to Cheap Heat here on Pro Wrestling Nation, or if you've been listening to the podcast for a long time, you know how much I value surprises, and I get it. Maybe I overdo it, although I think wrestling fans love surprises. Speaking of surprises, spoiler, on the other side of this, we're going to get to my next co-hosts, Anthony, Lamont, Steve, and Tony. We'll get to all of you guys after the break, so hang tight. But I just feel like if we're not going to tell a big story let me get to a week from Saturday, and every time that clock hits 1, I am sitting there on the edge of my seat. Not because that feeling of when you see the Tron hit and you go, oh, yeah, of course it's so-and-so because they said they were going to be in it. Oh, yeah, it's so-and-so. Of course, they announced they're going to be in it. I don't need anyone to announce it anymore. Like, I really don't. To the caller's point, to Bill's point earlier, unless you're going to have a match with some stakes, like, oh, the winner of this match is 30, short of something like that, at this point, surprise me, baby. And I also will say, we live in a time now where the locker room is so stacked that we're almost at like no surprise territory. The interesting question is, will the Saudi Arabia of it all change that? Because everyone has always said it's expected in Saudi with the money they spend. I mean, they want Hulk Hogan back from the dead in the Rumble. They want Andre in the Rumble. So could we somehow get a glass break? Could we get a Shawn Michaels? Could we get anything that, like, is a true old-school surprise? Can Booker T get on the flight to Riyadh? You know what I mean? Will we get any of those sort of classic returns at the Rumble? I love those. All right, your calls next, guys. 877-344-4893. An hour left where you are all co-hosting with me the rest of the way. It's Cheap Heat Live on Pro Wrestling Nation.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Wolverine for your NES, Battle Magneto and Sabretooth with your Adamantium claws and Berserker range in the X-Men battle of all time. Wolverine from LJN.
As I said, SGG and Dip both dipped on us today. So we are taking phone calls and making you guys in Pro Wrestling Nation the co-host for the day. So with that, let's go to Lamont in Atlanta. Let's go to the ATL, the 404. Lamont, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, man? I just wanted to speak about the AJ Styles and Gunther match. I could see it going one of two ways. Either AJ gets the upper hand on Gunther this time from the way Gunther won with the referee by tapping with the referee not being in position and releasing the hold, or I could see them doing some like old WWE 1990 stuff where AJ gets the win clean, but then Gunther just repeatedly attacks him to the point where they're ringing the bell and then they reverse the decision. So, I'm sorry, Gunther beats AJ clean, but steadily attack him after the match, and then they ring the bell, reverse the decision. So now AJ Styles is unretired, and and they can go from there.
You mean like AJ now has to have another match because of how vicious the beatdown is after the match?
Correct. You remember back in old school days, like they would ring the bell, and if the wrestler didn't stop, sometimes referee would reverse decision. So if Gunther beats him, but steadily attack him after the match, that way you get Gunther going over, you get AJ retirement for like a minute, but then because the decision is reversed, he's unretired and can finish out the year.
Well, listen, I would say that even if they didn't reverse the decision, because we don't see that very often anymore, even if they didn't reverse the decision, even if AJ just simply got his ass beat so badly that it's like, no, he has to do something. The problem is, and thank you for the call, man. That's a good call, Lamont. The problem is, where do you go from there? Like, if AJ gets his ass beat by Gunther, and then it's like, all right, well, now he's coming back for another match, he's going to lose again. So where are we going? That's what makes this very complicated, that you have the stipulation of retirement match for AJ Styles. And that's what makes you think that maybe some sort of chicanery will take place and someone will get involved, because it just seems so crazy. AJ was just a tag champion. He just had a classic match with John Cena. He still looks great. He's retiring, at a time in which it makes sense, but not in which he's fallen off. So why would he rush it and end this thing right now? Now, let me ask you a question, Kelly. What was the thought and consensus among the hosts about what was going to happen with AJ?
I know Dave had said he certainly would want a clean finish in a match like this, but like you said, the stipulation complicates things, and I think a lot of people are thinking that either somebody's going to get involved and or there's not a clean finish, because it feels too soon for AJ. Maybe he won't do the whole year, but next weekend seems a little bit soon for it to be his retirement.
Well, WrestleMania is 3 months away. I mean, I know he's not a WrestleMania legend, but wouldn't you want to still have another WrestleMania?
Absolutely. And for Gunther, who just retired John Cena not too long ago, it would be too soon for him to lose clean to AJ too. So
can't.
It leaves you in that middle ground of it's not going to be a clean finish, or somebody's going to get involved, or there's going to be some trickery going down.
It does speak to some of the complaints that people have these days with the booking in general, and things feeling a little bit haphazard. Like, we just end up in places and you're kind of like, how did we get here? That was quick. And if you watched SmackDown last week, for example, I guess Jordan Grace and Jade Cargill is where we're going. Jordan Grace just got here, and now it certainly looks like it's going to be Jordan Grace and Jade Cargill. That's where we're off to. Like, these things just seem to happen incredibly quickly. And this AJ Gunther one is just really complicated. I'll tell you one thing. Gunther losing is not an option. Just to be clear for everyone. Gunther, the story is he retires people. That is now what the thing is. He ended Goldberg. He ended Cena. And whether it's next Saturday or 2 months from now, he's retiring AJ Styles. That is where we are going. Gunther is the man who ends people's careers. So the idea that AJ would win and survive, and then they have another one, and no, it doesn't make sense. Gunther has to win or something has to happen. Those are the only options. But then it's like a weird thing. Like, I'm trying to remember. Are there any historians out there with a better memory than me who could remind me? Do you recall a time when someone put their career on the line, and in the career-threatening match, someone else got involved and it didn't happen, and as a result, we just forgot about the stipulation? I'm trying to remember. Like, is that a thing that you would have? Because when you have the career-threatening stipulation, I feel like it has to be paid off one way or the other. It seems so... It would seem so weird to not have it paid off, and we just then go a different direction. That's not possible. Anthony in Massachusetts wants to weigh in on AJ and Gunther. My next co-host. How are you, buddy?
How you doing? I got 2 ideas on how this can go down.
All right.
One, AJ Styles. I still think AJ Styles is not going to retire at Royal Rumble. I think it's just not a big enough event for him to retire at. I think he retires at Mania. I do think Gunther is going to be the one to retire him. But if you look at the way history goes down, CM Punk and Gunther have a lot of history together with Punk beating him. So I think, down the line during the match, we see Gunther getting out of hand, and he tries to cheat, and we see someone like CM Punk come down and stop him, and AJ Styles steal the win. Or we see Gunther get disqualified. And, AJ Styles makes it apparent that you didn't beat me. It's going to piss him off, too. It's going to piss Gunther off.
And then they extend it to Mania.
To WrestleMania, yeah. I think we also see, somebody like maybe Brock Lesnar gets involved. I was supposed to retire Cena, not you. I said I was going to retire Cena. The history of Brock Lesnar, he doesn't take a lot of people doing things that he says he was going to do.
So you're right. A DQ. Thank you for the call, man. You're right. A DQ could be a cheap way out of this to keep the thing going. That is possible. I still don't find that to be that fascinating a storyline to get us further down the road. Isn't it crazy too to think about? Like, I just want to point this out. And you guys knew I was not happy with the booking of, not the booking, the execution of the Gunther McAfee match. I thought was silly. I thought that, as much as Pat's an athlete, he's the color commentator, and I thought he should have been crushed by Gunther. when you look back now, he struggled against Pat McAfee to some degree. It certainly wasn't a squash. Unreal made it look like more of a squash. If you lived through it, you know it did not feel like a squash. Then he lost to CM Punk. And he's lost to Jey Uso. It's interesting that this guy, who now what we're trying to do is make him completely invincible. And he's retiring legends. That's what he does. He's the new legend killer. Everyone loses. Yet, he sort of struggled with an announcer. He lost to a 50-year-old, often injured CM Punk. And then he lost to a really popular and awesome Jey Uso, who's not exactly known as being like the most imposing, terrifying wrestler there is. Lost to both of them. But now we need to sort of forget that past or believe it was part of the motivation. And if it's supposed to be part of the motivation, I think that story should be told with Gunther more. Like, I'd like to see Gunther at home sitting in the attic watching the film being like, I can't believe I fucking lost to Jey Uso. I watch this every night. It never should have happened. Like, build that into who he was. Don't expect me to forget that he lost to Jey Uso. And this isn't me talking as Peter Rosenberg. I'm talking as what if I were a wrestler. I'm Gunther. To geriatric CM Punk? How you lose to CM Punk? He's 50. He's come off a lot of injuries. Listen, I know it's wrestling, but like, if Gunther's a killer, the man needs to be a killer. We cannot half-ass it. He needs to kill. Let's go to Chris in Atlanta. Back to the ATL. No, we lost Chris. Chris, we were excited to talk to you. 877-344-4893. Let's go to Jason in Cincinnati instead. Hey, Jason, what's going on, man?
Hey, Peter, man. First of all, man, you are my dude. I've been messing with you since early Hot 97 days. Respect to you. I don't know if I should say that on the radio, but
I appreciate
you, brother.
that. Thank
Seriously.
you, bro.
Yeah, man, no doubt. First of all, AJ's not going anywhere. First, his career has just been too great. If he's going to go out, he's going to go in a phenomenal way, pun intended. What I think is going to happen is I see that he and Gunther are going to have a banger match. But I do expect at some point somebody to run in leading up to a WrestleMania. I agree with the last caller. This isn't big enough for an AJ exit. I also believe that AJ is going to go out as a heel. It's going to be exciting. I think that we saw the letdown of John Cena. And again, I'm a John Cena hater. I'm not a fan. I'll be honest with you. I thought he was just a modern day Sambo, respectfully.
Oh my God, I don't know if you said it respectfully, but let me ask you a question though. Why do you think AJ would go out as a heel?
Because I think that, first of all, I think his character is much better as a heel. I think that in the climate of WWE right now, another face, Gunther beating another face, it's not exciting. It's not. It just doesn't tell a big enough story. I don't think their rivalry has been big enough to where it would really be climatic if he beat AJ. It just hasn't been enough. If we've had a couple months to tell this story, and it's been back and forth, and it's been a real grind, I get that. But
well, I agree with you on the timing. I just can't see AJ at this point like turning heel, and then it ends for him as a heel. I just see him going out as a celebrated good guy. I really can't picture it.
If he's elevating a new champion, if he's elevating a up and comer that really needs it, Gunther doesn't need this. It would be it would be a letdown, whether he won or not. It would be like, let's side. There would be nothing that we're going to get out of it. But if they give us AJ in a surprise heel turn, and he is wrecking shop as AJ does, and then we see a retirement match with, someone who, I don't think he can beat AJ. Now we're getting excited. Now we're in a situation where
I'll concede that. Thank you for the call, Jason. I'm gonna concede that. I will concede that point. I think AJ going to a role where you got to have him have a match against someone where you legitimately didn't know who he would win or lose.
Yeah.
I think that would make it a lot of fun. And I think he would potentially be able to truly like make, quote unquote, make someone. You know what I mean? Like whoever that was. I mean, just to throw this out for fun. Jason, have a good weekend, man. Be safe out there in Cincinnati. Like for example, just throwing this out here for fun. But like if AJ ended up in his retirement match was against a Javon Evans, who I'm sure they could have a magical, athletic, very bouncy match, if you will, and you really don't know what's going to happen, I can see how that result could be exciting. But I think, again, Jason, you're missing the point to some degree. The idea is it's not about it being exciting. It is about Gunther being built up to be the most hated, evil heel in the company. That is, to me, what the whole thing is. And so, yeah, you're not going to feel a lot of excitement if he just pounds AJ Styles and retires him. Listen, I hated the Cena match. I admit it. I'm not a pro wrestler. Every wrestler, you guys, think of a wrestler that you know and love. I've probably already argued with them about the match because they all liked it and I didn't. I'm not trying to be a pro wrestler. I'm trying to be me, fan, broadcaster, who gives my opinions on it. It wasn't for me. But I am not so stubborn to not be willing to admit that it has contributed to where Gunther is getting heat from. It has. It did serve a purpose. Again, I still would not have had Cena give up. I don't get it. I still don't think you needed it. We can argue about the poetry of it till you're blue in the face. John Cena never gives up, and him never giving up and losing would have been awesome, and Gunther would still be the man, and I would have rather John Cena didn't give up, and it got Gunther so mad that Gunther beat him to the point where John Cena's retirement ended with him being stretchered out. That would have been heat, baby. That would have been fire. Rather than John just like oddly smirks and taps and then puts his stuff down amidst boos and walks out of the arena. Not for me. But again, you can slice it 50 cents one way, half a dollar the other, because right now, guess what? Everyone's booing Gunther. And that is what they wanted, and that is what they're expecting to have happen should he do the same to AJ Styles. All right, there's a lot of people on the phone. Everyone really wants to get – I want to get to Tony at some point who wants to talk Evolve. Believe me, I'm here for that because Evolve has been cranking these days, in my humble opinion. But let's go to Chris in Atlanta. We tried to get to him earlier. Has an interesting thought. Chris, what's good, man?
Yeah, hey, thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
I just had a quick thought about the Gunther AJ. Because obviously neither one of them can go over clean, right? So I was thinking, after the last face-to-face they have, what if Frankie from TNA came down, interfered, caused AJ the match, Gunther gets to say he retired AJ from WWE, and then that gets AJ back in TNA.
So that is compelling, but it doesn't change that it would still be a sort of womp retirement from WWE, and right. Now AJ's whole WWE retirement ends up kind of being an angle for TNA. I mean, listen, respect to the AMC era, but I don't see it.
Yeah, but I think AJ would. I don't know. He's been there. He was there from the start. He might want to finish there. You know.
You know what? That is a good point. Now you're making a good point because. When we'd have to go back. When AJ said 2026 was going to be his last year in wrestling, did he say his last year in WWE?
Right.
Or did he say his last year in wrestling? Because maybe that is the whole thing. And maybe, thank you for the call, Chris, maybe the sort of wink was I love TNA. We now have this relationship anyway. My last WWE match will be the Rumble, and then I will do the rest of the year in TNA, and I will help bring eyeballs to them as they enter this new era, and I will be the top guy on their show for the next 10, 11 months. That's compelling. That's compelling. Have you heard that at all this week, Kelly? Is anyone heard this?
I think we had a caller say something similar, not necessarily with the TNA involvement in the match at the Rumble, but more so that, maybe we see AJ more so in TNA down the line. But I do have a hard time believing that WWE would set up the AJ angle for TNA. It just doesn't sound like it fits.
Unless the only way it would be is if it was like AJ, what he really wanted. And he was like, hey, guys, I've given you 10 years. I think this would be a cool way for me to go out. Helping them again would be a way. That would be the only way. And then they say, all right. And let's be honest. Like, if we're being realistic, is AJ's not getting a Cena retirement tour, just to be clear. So it's I'm not going to say he's going to go out with a whimper, but there's a lot of people who need time on television. AJ's going to get some love, but I don't even think an AJ angle, it's not going to get the Flair love. I don't think it's going to get what Flair's retirement got. I think it would be somewhere below what Flair got, below what Cena certainly got. So maybe he thinks, I would like to just go out with TNA where I can be the guy. Kelly, we tried calling SGG. He said he's trying to call the hotline. I mean, the SGG's trying, not the hotline. He doesn't have the hotline. SGG's trying to call the phone lines and can't get through because we're too on fire.
It is too packed. Do you want me to text him the guest line?
Yeah, text him the guest line if he wants to pop on and say hello. But he better weigh in. But he better be weighing in on AJ and Gunther because that's all we're talking about. Let's keep things going. Actually, before I lose my Evolve guy, let me go to Tony who wants to support my show. Tony in Fort Lauderdale. What's going on, Tony?
Pete, what's up? As your 1/16th co-host of the day, I'd like to quickly, if I may, proceed in the following format. Make a comment, ask you a question, pose one to the nation, if I may.
Wow. All right.
So regarding Evolve, this last episode, there was a backstage segment with Nikita and Ariana. And I think that just based on the quality and the fact that clip exists, already puts that show above Ring of Honor and at least at the level of NWA and felt like a weekly wrestling show to me for the first time, which is saying something for being such a developmental brand. It did. I actually
that Nikita Ariana thing, it hit that well with you?
It felt on par with what I'm seeing on my other weekly shows. And honestly, with some of the backstage stuff, it was kind of on par even with TNA. There was a little friendly silliness to it where you're just watching and waiting to laugh. And that made it feel like an hour wrestling show to me, finally. And as far as my question for you, sir, what I noticed, what stuck out to me in this episode, your bespoke satin jacket bedazzled with your monogrammed letters. Now, very reminiscent of Bobby the Brain Heenan. But what immediately struck my mind, if Damian Priest, and Zelina Vega, of us three, Tony in Fort Lauderdale, Damian Priest, Zelina Vega, vouch for you, will you consider commandeering all the stuff that my Puerto Rican people put out with the PR initials on it and emblazon it as your own?
Well, I'll have you know, first of all, I'd be honored to have that because I love Puerto Rico. I love my Boricua people, and I own multiple Puerto Rico hats because of the PR, and I do love Puerto Rico. So, yes, I would gladly, I'd be honored to share the PR of Puerto Rico with yours truly. That jacket, by the way, was a gift from Dipperstein and my agent Courtney. When I got my job with WWE, I'd been there like a year or so, and as a gift, they had that jacket made. And it's made in the exact same look of Bobby Heenan's jacket. The star on the back, the way the lettering's done, all of it's the exact same way as Heenan's jacket, except it's my name.
As far as I'm concerned, the only thing that compares to it is a Ribeiro jacket. And lastly,
by the way, I better get a Ribera jacket. The next time, here's the question: what do I do if I've been to Ribera once, but I wasn't yet active in the company. If I go to Ribera as a former 24/7 champion, is someone gonna know? Are they gonna be like, hey, we need to give him a Ribera jacket? Like he's a champion. This man's a wrestler. Oh, Jace.
I think the chances are good, and the reason why I'm going to compare it to something recent. From what I understand, this guy Justin Roberts has one, the announcer for AEW. Now, if he has one, that can only mean one thing.
Yeah.
Absolute cashola. He paid.
Well, I mean, listen, but Justin Roberts is a very accomplished ring announcer. Maybe they saw him. They go, wow, that's the voice of for many years of WWE and now AEW, and that's very promising. All right, what was your question for the nation?
Yeah, as far as my ear goes, I want to know. I can't be the only one, but does SGG not sound like Stokely Hathaway from AEW? I'll hang up and listen, Pedro.
You know what? I got to think about that. Do I think that SGG sounds like Stokely? That's a great question. Hold on, I'm trying to get SGG on the line. You don't have his number, huh?
I don't think I do. I just scoured for it.
All right, I'm going to send you SGG's contact right now, so we can get SGG on the show. And
then we can really tell. If
Yeah,
he
and then the
sounds
people on
like
the
him.
yeah, and then the people in the nation can decide. All right, I'm sending this to you right now, Kelly. There, your name's not Jelly, it is Kelly. There we go. Sent. All right. Greg is listening though right now. He insists already he does not sound like Stokely Hathaway. I knew he'd say that, and furthermore, I believe knowing SGG, he's going to suggest the caller only said it because they're both black. I know that's where SGG's going to go. While we're looking for SGG, let's go to Pete in Colorado. In the meantime, hey Pete.
Hey, I know this is going to sound weird, but I'm getting a Rocky vibe with this whole AJ Gunther deal, where basically he retires AJ, and then later on he beats down some guy, like one of his buddies from the Bullet Club or whatever, and then comes back out of retirement to defend him.
You know what? Sort of, but I will tell you this: I've been getting vibes of Rocky 2. I don't know why. Like I had Rocky in my
That's
mind.
What I'm saying, the Rocky and the Russian basically, and he retires him, and then the Russian is Gunther, beats one of his friends, and he comes out of retirement to beat him again.
You know why I was thinking about Rocky? Because I was picturing like that beat down and like they're trying to pull him away, and it was giving me Rocky Drago vibes or Clubber Lang vibes, you know, like that indomitable heel who's just beating him down and people are pulling them off. Like that's kind of what I want to see more from Gunther. And again, that was why I was so disappointed with the McAfee match where he like showed him respect afterwards. I'm like, I know Gunther's like supposed to be like a gentleman on some level. I think if you want him to be who he's supposed to be, get rid of the gentleman and bring in just the beatdown king. That's what I want.
And that's why I have a feeling it's kind of leaning to that story of Rocky and Drago.
Yeah, well, that's a good call, man. We'll see. All right, we have SGG. Thank you for the call, buddy. We have SGG on the line. Let's take the break. Let's take the break and come back with SGG. How about that? Let's take our last break and come back with SGG plus your phone calls. Kelvin, Kevin, Steve, everyone who's on the line at 877-344-4893. All of my real co-hosts, my bootleg co-hosts have left us, and one of them is back on the phone lines. We'll get to SGG next, right here on Cheap Heat Live, Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following. New World Wrestling Federation Superstars Cookies from Salerno. Great tasting cookies in 10 fun-to-eat WWF wrestling shapes.
Cheap Heat Live, Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. I'm Peter Rosenberg, your forever 24/7 champion, at Rosenberg Radio on all the socials. And I'm told, do we have our guy on the line? Oh, fresh out of court.
I'm here.
Making time for us before the show ends. It is StatGuy Greg. Hey, SGG.
What's going on, P? I've been listening to the co-hosts have been doing great, I got to say.
Well, I know you had a problem with one of them, though.
Yeah. I don't sound like Stokely. And I don't think he said it because we're black. I think he said it because we're both bald and handsome. So, you know. You just got to take it on the chin.
That's all you can do. Were you successful in court?
I think so. The judge ended up reserving his decision, so we have 30 days before we find out exactly what's what. But my client had custody of the kids. was living in Florida with the kids. We got a court order temporary over the summer that said that she could keep the kids with her in Florida. And then he didn't reverse any of that. So my guess is that he's going to say that they can live in Florida just because it doesn't make sense to send them back to Florida, only to tell them to come back to Philly later. So I think we got it. I just think
all right. So maybe successful.
Most
likely
yeah.
successful.
I think this was. But I want to talk AJ Gunther.
Yes, please. This is something we really didn't get into on our Patreon this week. We talked about so many things, but not AJ Gunther. Dip was on the phone to start the show, and he absolutely thinks AJ's career is over at the Rumble. What do you think?
I think Dip is wrong, to the surprise of no one who listens to the show. I don't think AJ's career is over at the Rumble, but I don't think we get a decisive winner. Now, how they do it, whether it's a schmoz or we get interference from somebody that sets up a new feud, I don't think Gunther does it. And that's because despite what they've been saying on TV, Gunther's not the career killer, right? He got John Cena and Goldberg under his belt, but one guy said he was retiring a year in advance and gave us the date. And then the other guy was semi-retired. You know, he just comes out every once in a while for his own ego, but Gunther didn't kill any careers. Gunther, threw the last pile of dirt on the careers, but, Gunther, the career killer, it's false. To be that, he does need to beat AJ Styles, though.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, it's a really good point. If he does, so how do you see the match ending then? What's the result?
Interference. I don't know. I don't think we get a clean winner though.
So I was asking this question earlier. Maybe you'd remember. Do you remember a time when there was a career-threatening stipulation and the match just sort of schmozzed out?
No.
I can't really recall that happening. So interference would have to, still lead to a finish. So, interference that leads to an AJ win or a Gunther disqualification or an AJ some sort of finish.
Yeah, but I agree. Yeah, because I don't think AJ's going to beat him clean.
No,
I don't think
that can't happen.
does Gunther any favors.
I will tell you, that would be some of the most insane booking of all time if your man just ended John Cena and then loses clean to a guy who's almost the same age seconds later.
Yeah.
That would make no sense. That would be crazy.
And
now,
and
also,
look, I don't think...
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. No, this is your show.
Oh, no, stop. This is our show. What I was going to ask you was, for the Royal Rumble, we don't know a lot of participants, and I'm hoping we keep it that way because now we only have a few shows left. I don't need them to throw in a whole bunch of names for no reason. Oh, and guess what? This one's in the Rumble, and that one's in the Rumble. At this point, SGG, you're not going to give us a story around them anyway. Just surprise me. And furthermore, they're building a whole stadium in Riyadh. We've always heard that the Saudi Arabian events, they always want the biggest names. Who is a possible surprise entrant for a Rumble in which you'd have to imagine we get a couple?
I mean, I feel like because we haven't seen him yet, Jericho is one, of course. Brock Lesnar's another one that I would say is of course, that's a surprise.
I know, but that doesn't even count to me. I mean, Brock's there. Brock's there.
Yeah. Every Brock appearance is a surprise.
Right, exactly.
He goes away, and then the next one, surprise.
Surprised again.
A big one that I would think, would be reminiscent of a John Cena just because of how recently this injury occurred is a Seth Rollins. Is he also a freak athlete that's going to make it back in time for the Rumble? And I thought about that because I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw a picture. It was from John Cena's gym, and it had a list of athletes who accomplished some feat at the gym. I forget exactly what it was, but Seth Rollins was on the list. So I'm considering him a super athlete on the level of a John Cena, who was basically Wolverine, right? He got injured, he came back right away from everything. So I think Seth could be ready for Riyadh.
So Crown Jewel was on Saturday, October 11th. November, December, January. We are 3 months and 2 weeks removed from an injury that none of us know the exact details of, but I think everybody thought was a minimum 6-month situation.
Right.
The question would be, right, like, is there a world in which, you're not ready at all to have full-on wrestling matches, but you could come in, toss a couple people over the top, and win at the end? Like, I don't know how that works. I mean, I don't know
how that works either.
That would be, I will tell you, though, that would be a legitimate big-time surprise. How locked in is the internet right now that Jericho's coming back? Is it really believed that's happening?
I think people have been believing that for a long time, yeah. Because he's been gone from AEW, I want to say, since April of 2025. And then, of course, there were the rumors towards the end of the year that he signed. Maybe he didn't sign. He's coming back.
Right,
he's not coming back. Tony Khan was asked and didn't lock down his status. So I think people expected him to pop up.
All right, SGG, I want to try to get to a couple of our last callers who've been waiting. You're the best. We'll talk next week.
Thank you. I'm going to hang up here and listen. First time, long time. Great show.
Stay Midge. I want to hit Hunter real quick in Iowa. 2 calls from Iowa today. My goal is to get through everybody to hit their thoughts real quickly on our way out the door. Hunter in Iowa on Chad Gable. What do you got, Hunter?
Oh, hey, how's it going? So now I saw a report saying Chad Gable could be coming back soon, and, I'm really hoping to see him return at Royal Rumble because imagine a scenario where El Grande Americano Ludwig Kaiser enters the Royal Rumble match, and the very next entrant is none other than a returning El Grande Americano Chad Gable, and we get a face-off between the two El Grande Americanos.
It's super fun. Or even if he comes back as Chad Gable and not El Grande Americano and they just stare at each other awkwardly, there's so many ways you could do it that would be fun. And let's not forget, at different points, Chad Gable has just been so awesome and over. Susumo telling me in our chat that according to recent social media, Chad Gable is yoked and ready to come back. Let's go to Jeff in Pennsylvania for our last call of the day. Our last co-host for the day, Jeff. What do you got, buddy?
Save the best for last, Pete. First time, long time with a life, and I'm also a dad in my 40s. So let's go.
Yes, my guy.
Every Rumble season, I watch Rumble 92. I know you do as well because it's the best Rumble, arguably.
Yes.
This year, I was thinking a little bit about Tuesday in Texas and all of the mishigash that happened that led to the Rumble 92.
Yes.
The Cody and Drew and Jacob Fatu of it all. We have 4 people in a number 1 contenders match. There's just a good number of elements of chaos this year. So I think this weekend could just be a big clusterfuck, and the title should be vacated, and that leads to a mad rush while we're all stuck inside over the next few days because of this storm, leading up to a WWE Undisputed title being available to the winner of this Royal Rumble. What do you think?
Wow, I don't think that's going to happen, Jeff. First of all, you are a great guy. You're welcome here anytime. What a great call to close it out. I don't see it happening, but I would be for it. So, Sumo, Kelly, Emilio, thank you guys. SGG and Dip, you did your best. Just kidding. Love you all. Everyone, stay mage and enjoy yourself. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy Saturday night's main event.